So for today's Pennsylvania Historic Marker series, we're actually doing the Dorsey Brothers Pennsylvania Historic Marker, which is located in Shenandoah, Pennsylvania. This is submitted by Colleen of Colleen Unvarnished YouTube channel. So I'm going to read this here to you guys. Trombonist Tommy Dorsey, 1905 to 56, and saxophonist Jimmy Dorsey, 1904 to 57, were key figures of the big band era. Born within 3 miles of here, both grew up and began their musical careers in Shenandoah. Until 1935, the brothers performed together. They led separate orchestras during the next 18 years before being reunited. Frank Sinatra was a featured singer with Tommy's orchestra, 1940 to 42. So these were some pretty significant guys in the musical area. It's one of those Pennsylvania historic markers have to do with anything really, and this is with these musical geniuses. Didn't get along very well apparently, even though they were brothers, and maybe that's part of it, but they were really impressive guys. They had some really neat bands and a lot of famous people, and we're going to go into that here in a second. So the Dorsey brothers were an American studio dance band during the big band era. It was led by Tommy and Jimmy Dorsey. They started recording in 1928 for OK Records. I'm assuming it's pronounced that way. It's OKEH. And that's usually how they sort of did things with their naming of products and whatnot. They also did recordings for labels Melotone, Columbia, Brunswick, and Decca. Primarily, their genre would have been jazz, and they were active from 1928 to 1935 in New York City, New York. They were notorious for not getting along. Actually, what broke up the band, I believe it was Tommy. They were in the middle of doing a stage, and he was upset about the tempo of the music and just sort of tore off, and that was the end of it. Now, eventually, 18 years later, in 53, they did come back together again, and they had quite a lot of notable people that were in their bands, including Glenn Miller, who is known very well for his own orchestra, Frank Sinatra, and we'll go through a couple of his other ones. But they recorded songs for the dime store labels, is what they were known as, and a handful of sides during their Brunswick period were issued by Vocalion. They signed with Decca in 1934 and formed a touring band with Tommy as the frontman. And they had a rather unusual lineup of 1 trumpet, 3 trombones, 3 saxes, and 4 rhythm. This band performed live mainly in New England area, and they had that falling out over the tempo of "I'll Never Say Never Again" in May 1935, where Tommy had walked off the stage. Glenn Miller composed 4 songs for the Dorsey brothers when he was a member in 1934 and 35. They were very much one of the most popular orchestras of the time, and then after the split up, they each had their own individual orchestra. Tommy actually is the one that permanently left the orchestra to take over Joe Himes' band, turning it into the Tommy Dorsey and his orchestra, while Jimmy wound up continuing the Dorsey brothers band. They did come back partially. They reunited in 47 for the film The Fabulous Dorseys, which you'll see that picture at the end of this video. And they did quite a bunch of different TV shows and were quite popular. So members, Mildred Bailey, she's a really phenomenal singer. Bing Crosby, that's somebody you know. Artie Bernstein. There's a number of different people here. That is actually Johnny Mercer that either sung or played an instrument in their band. So they were one of those bands that sort of a lot of people went out from their band then and had pretty fantastic careers. Some of their notable releases is Let's Do It, Let's Fall in Love, the vocals by Bing Crosby. I'm Getting Sentimental Over You. What a Difference a Day Made, You're the Top. Annie's Cousin Fanny, which that was, I believe, arranged by Glenn Miller. Tomorrow's Another Day, another one by Glenn Miller. Harlem Chapel Chimes, which is Glenn Miller once again. I'll Never Say Never Again, which is the Falling Out song for their band. But these are some pretty phenomenal guys, and they were from Shenandoah, Pennsylvania. Came from a small coal mining town to go out there and make it big in the entertainment industry, and that's Tommy Dorsey and Jimmy Dorsey. I believe Tommy Dorsey, he was born early. He was a younger brother, but he sadly, apparently, wound up dying pretty bad. I guess he was sleeping. I don't know if he had a heart attack or something, choked on his own vomit. And then Jimmy Dorsey, he lasted about a year longer, till 57, the older brother, and he wound up dying of cancer. But despite all the issues and things of that nature that they had with one another, they really did create quite a legacy together. So that's the Dorsey Brothers Band. This is the Pennsylvania Historic Marker Series in Shenandoah. This is a viewer-submitted video from Colleen D with Colleen Unvarnished. She was kind enough to go out and get these pictures, the pictures of the sign, and to get that one going. So it's been a little while before I'll be able to do one of these again, but I'll probably be putting a couple more of these out in the next couple days, because it's something that's a little easier for me to do video-wise. So thank you as always, and we will see you all about town. And thank you, Colleen.